I just would let them go on their own because I'm sure they'll have fun stories to share with us.
Okay,
Yes.
well, I really don't belong here in any way. I'm not an entrepreneur. I'm a journalist. I've been working for the International Herald Tribune for about 12 years, traveling around the world. But I'm about to go into entrepreneurial things in Asia. But we don't want to talk about ourselves. This is sort of a break from technology. We're going to talk about sociology and a little bit of a theory that we've been coming up for a while because we're both unemployed. Loic, how are you unemployed?
So I'm an unemployed entrepreneur. My name is Loic Lemer. I've created several startups. I'm a blogger. I'm a vlogger. And so we had an idea basically with Tom and how it started, at least for me, and then we go deep into the idea and we get double time, right? Because we're two people.
And we want feedback. This is supposed to be interactive. We really need feedback because it's something we're developing.
So the way it started is, for me, is that I've been asked many times to do presentations on how I see the future of blogging. Right? And the future of blogging for me is not about technology. I guess there is one trend which is going to be instant, like microblogging, Twitter, and that's one trend. The other one trend is video, which is an obvious trend, right? But let's not get into that. I think the most important thing is a culture, which is arising, which is happening, which we are building all together. And Tom and I were in a square in Paris, and we were defined it, and we called it the moving circus, because we're like, oh, that's actually from my friend Yossi, our friend Yossi Vardi in Israel, and we were like, any conference in the world we go to, first of all, the one definition is we go to many conferences because we like and need to meet people. And Yossi said, oh, it's all the same speakers. It's amazing. It's like a moving circus, right? So Tom and I tried to define the moving circus, and we'll do 1 point each, right?
Okay, and
you have to help.
Okay, and putting this into context, Loic, what he didn't say is he also runs the most popular blog in France, the #1 blog of all. And we did this in a park, and I'm sitting out there, we're sitting in the sun, just talking about it all. We put it on the blog, and we get tremendous feedback from a lot of people. Some people actually criticized us. They said that we were being negative because we defined this a lot through no. Some people say we're trying to describe a world or create a world in some sort of way. We're not. What we're trying to do is describe a phenomenon, which we do start out with negatives. I'll start. First of all, this group or this world, there's no bosses. People work for themselves. It's self-employed.
There is no office, basically. And there was a very nice story in the San Jose Mercury News I've read about that, which is like, we all work from a laptop with Skype, right? And IM and Twitter and a phone. So all we need is a laptop and a phone, which sounds totally obvious to us, but like we don't need any office, right? We brainstorm on Martin's boat this morning, and there are several, correct me people from Silicon Valley, but some cafes in San Jose, in Palo Alto, where you have all geeks there, preparing startups, right? And when you are there and you need a Java developer, you're like, is there any Java developer here? And they raise their hand, and they're,
coffee counter.
Right. What's the name of this place? No, well, yeah, right. So no office is a big
right,
one.
But we'll take it even further than no office. Hans Peter actually raised it just a moment ago, which is no country. He's out here looking, anybody here in Menorca want to work for Plum, which is based out in San Francisco, that's no problem. Countries don't matter in that sense. The world is flat in that way.
No language. As you can see, we're in Menorca, and I'm French, and we have so many nationalities here.
And also, when Loic is speaking English, it's no language either.
Thank you. You can see we're building. I've been like teasing them all the entire weekend, so now it's your revenge. Thank you, Tom, so much. But basically, it's not English, all right. But so now I can't get even back to concentrating. So no, it's like I have this conference that you're all welcome to in Paris called Le Web, and it was the very first edition was held at the Sénat in Paris, all in English. It was like in France, in a French public place at the Senate, and all in English. They had never ever seen that. And of course we need to talk to each other. We need a TCP/IP of this culture, right? And this TCP/IP cannot be like, if you all talk in Spanish, I understand a little bit, but I cannot express myself very well, even if my mother is Spanish and you don't care. But Thomas, next one.
No diploma, and it's particularly true in France, where you have to have a degree to do this, you have to do that. It's very built up on, if you didn't study hard enough when you were 14 years old because you're having a lot of fun, your entire rest of your life is ruined. Oh, sorry, that's the microphone. But in this sort of world, what matters is meritocracy. Again, back to Hans-Peter, does he care, whether you went to the high school in Menorca or some big university in Madrid? No. Can you do the job? It's meritocracy.
Absolutely. So we went across politics, and I can tell you a little bit about this. This is Martin. Originally, you wanted me to talk only about that, but I won't. So I give you like a 30 seconds on why politics do not matter, even though I spent 4 months like helping a candidate in France that is now the president. Next week, right? So, but basically, I never took the card of a political party there because I think this is all over, and I still think that, by the way. So I spent weeks helping Sarkozy and as a blogger, and I was one of the very few in France who said 6 months ago that I would vote for him in public on my blog, and I got so much shit out of it just about saying it. Basically, if you would say you would vote for Ségolène Royal, it would be the same, because it's like not cultural. I don't know about Spain, but in France it's not cultural to say for whom you will vote for. It's just you hide it, you don't say it. Whereas in the States, you have people with bumper stickers, right, on their cars. I vote for Kerry or for Bush, right? I saw that. I was very impressed. And so we created a network of 1,000 bloggers who were for him. I created a Second Life island for Sarkozy, where we have people bombing us, sending mines. So if you hit a mine in Second Life, you burst and you get logged out, and then you have to come back in. And so it's a very intense experience, politics, because you get hit all the time, enemies, and so a big worse than business. That's a post I'd love to write, is the big differences between politics and business, and you can talk a lot. So I'll stop and go to the next point. But basically, the feeling we have with Tom is that political parties matter less and less. Basically, it's more about people. It's more about, look at how we get together here. You didn't get any invite, any paper. You just heard it through word of mouth or through reading Martin's or anybody else's blog. And I think it's like it will become easier and easier to gather hundreds of thousands of people against a law, for instance, and they will be obliged to change it very, very fast. And so political parties don't matter much.
Right. It turns around. You organize around an organizing principle. Maybe it's the green movement, or a specific idea, or a specific principle.
Thomas, you know about the theory of the open source government. It means that as soon as we're going to be millions and tens of millions and hundreds of millions online following the same rules, we become the new government, because it's going to be the biggest number of individuals going to the same rules. And when the first trend is to say we're going to get the rules of the old world to come in the internet, it's exactly the opposite that is happening. Is the rules from the internet is expanding. As much users are going to be connected and so on, following the same rules, then they understand. Look at what happened with the peer-to-peer. Nobody cares about copyright laws. They actually do it, and they set the standard. It's going to be beyond that. So
we want more feedback, like Tariq. More feedback. But let's carry on. Let's keep going, because we have like 100 of those, right?
Quick ones. No smoking.
This has been, right?
So has been. It's over.
It's over.
No hierarchy. There is some hierarchy, but not much. It's very, very limited. We may reduce this.
No racism. I think this is a very big trend, racism. This is so passé. Why? I have my kids playing on World of Warcraft, and so just to give you an idea, they are 12 and 10, and they are level 65 and 40 at 10. They are 10, and they don't work the same. Their brands don't work the same as we do. So, for example, they play in guilds with people, I don't know, in China, in Israel, in the US, or in other parts of France. And how can they be racist? By having a guild, a team, at 10 when they are 10 years old, with people from all around the world? Maybe I'm naive. Can we do it, Tariq?
I'm going to interrupt you. In World of Warcraft, nobody knows you're black, basically.
Yeah. Well, no. Well, yeah, there are some ways. Yeah, but I think it's very strong. I think this is very, very strong that when I went to Israel several times, maybe we give the mic to Tariq. So next one. But when, we were in Israel, right, and there people were talking about the Middle East situation with eyes saying it's also very passé, and I think I'm very hopeful and optimistic about this culture not working exactly the same and seeing the world differently.
In sync, death of email. Everything is instant. What is happening more and more is we're communicating with people. When I communicate with Loic, if I send an email, he's never going to respond. He never listens to his voicemail. His voicemail, in fact, says, "Do not leave a voicemail message." That's my voicemail at work says the same thing. You only want to connect through IM, through SMS. I want to know what he's doing right now. Is it good to talk to him or not? So it's in sync all the time. Parallel lives.
No distance. Distance doesn't matter anymore at all. Like wherever you are, it's basically the same. We'll put like those videos out and being Menorca, I mean, people fly here from all over, and you could actually build an entire company, and many people have done it from places which are very far away without having to be at the center of anything, right?
That there's the mass media. This is something that's pretty close to me, working for the International Herald Tribune and in newspapers for a long time. The mass media is facing tremendous challenges. There's a loss of monopoly. We used to have a monopoly on the distribution of news, the monopoly on the Herald Tribune. What we like to think of is we like to think that we are hosting the global conversation. If you want to go to the cocktail party that is what the most important and interesting people are talking about in the world, we like to think by the Herald Tribune. Unfortunately, what's happened for that model is the conversations are arising within the world itself. The users are now creating that model. The mass media has to reinvent itself again. I'm not entirely pessimistic, by the way, because there's so many people talking. You're not going to want to listen to them all. You're going to want to know who are the interesting people, which moving ahead is why a brand like the Herald Tribune, Forbes magazine, anything is still valuable looking forward.
No fear of embarrassment. The beta culture, we're always in beta. It's never ready, right? No, really. I mean, it's all in beta. We're all doing alpha and beta. Why? Well, in the past, you had to have a finished product, right? You were hiding somewhere, and you would think about it, and you do market survey, and you don't tell anybody because they could steal your idea, right? And this is totally different now. It's the market, the public. Everybody says if it's right or not, so you push it out. You say it's better, which lets you do a lot of mistakes, and you learn from the people. You build it with them, and I would add to this one, it's the same. It's like no marketing, because if you do that this well, you don't need any marketing. It's just word of mouth. And as Skype has done, I mean, you build a community or net vibes of millions of users without any marketing, just word of mouth.
Related to this, which is really...
I mean, Windows has been in beta for 10 years.
Right. Well, this is a different beta.
One important thing related to this is no fear of failure. Embrace failure, and in fact, try and fail as quickly as possible. Go out there and take the risk, and if it crashes quickly, that's better. You get up, you try it again, try something different, try something new.
No secrets, sharing everything. Blogging is about sharing. In the past, we would not tell the ideas. So I'm considering about starting a new business, and I will blog all the ideas. Not to, so that I'm sure Martin gets a lot of business plans with people still saying, "Can you sign an NDA?" I cannot tell you my idea because I'm so scared, right? The culture is totally different here. The more you share, the more you get an opportunity for people to tell you how it's great or how it sucks, and then maybe you should stop. And so it's all about sharing, and blogging is about sharing. It was weird a few years. Now it's completely normal, right? Okay,
and this is, I guess, my last point I have here, which is sort of a broader, more philosophical one. What I think the Internet has brought to us, and what the twist of Web 2.0 is brought in, is this wonderful, for the first time in the history of humanity, this glorious marketplace of ideas. This is, the idea from Menorca is of equal value to the idea is thought up in Silicon Valley. Who cares? Let's see them compete in this open platform that everybody can share. What matters less and less is the systems behind them, the monopoly holders, the old style people who used to control the bottlenecks. Now we can all try and share our ideas and see what works and try it all. So thank you very much.
My last point is no countries. Even though we said it a little bit, I think it matters less and less in terms of the world getting flat, right? And I'm not, if you've not read that book, go and read it fast. But everybody know about it. But basically, it's like you can't be trying to preserve like France against, China stealing jobs, or same India against the US stealing jobs in the US because they are cheaper. I think this is not going to work anymore. The world is just getting into an equilibrium, and countries are getting more wealthy and others are facing difficulties, like in Europe. I think we are, all Europe, facing the fact that we are in too much comfort generally, and then we have to head back and fight. And I think it's very, very good. The only challenge is to get countries like Africa, continents and places like Africa, getting not sick and participate in this world getting flat. But I think it's a very, very optimistic culture that we are building all together. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
How do you get all these good ideas into schools, education?
Well, we share them, you see. So, any points we forgot?
Anything please.
Two questions.
Yeah.
Would you like, because the way I'm saying it is, of course I would like that. For me, the religion is one of the bad things of the old world, and the new world poses new ways to be with. But for me, the danger is that in the future, at some point, there will only be one religion, which is the geek religion, which is universal. And this tries to be...
That was good.
And who is the Pope?
Who is the Pope? Who's the Pope? Exactly.
I feel we are, very international. We are people from all over the world, and we really share a lot of, our same view from the world. But this can be also like an... it can be dangerous in the future. Well, it's a concern for me.
No, but you have the hip-hop scene also, and they party better, so
it's dangerous, but each time you make a mistake, you have your friends who tell you, right, very fast. So
I guess in terms of the optimism, if what we're talking about sounds too strangely optimistic or overly optimistic, my view on this is, you have optimists and pessimists. They both die the same way, but one lives a happier life.
Any other question, remark, insult, criticism?
Please. We welcome.
No insult.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Very much.
Bye.
Thank you.